If you've ever been on the fence about buying an amp modeler, particularly a Fractal, you're going to watch this video before you make that purchase. Hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. What's going on, y'all? Hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm Ray with Second Chance Rise, and this is our channel about our Christian music as well as the gear reviews and rig rundowns. And today I want to talk to you about the Fractal, particularly the new FM3 Turbo. A few weeks ago I did a little unboxing of it. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you could probably see one of my rig rundowns that we did. I had the original FM3 as well. I'll post that link of that video at the end here, so you can check that out if you'd like to check out some more of the gear that we use here in the studio and live. But also, you know, when I had the FM3 before, I was really enjoying it. 3 or 4 gigs with it so far earlier last year. Kind of not getting rid of my tube amps, but I was really enjoying what I was hearing. When I got the FM3 Turbo, I started really to explore some of the presets that I really hadn't had explored before. I just kind of dialed in a few tones earlier, did a few shows with it, and just kind of as far as I got. I really didn't do a lot of exploring or a lot of tweaking on it. You know, what convinced me and kind of confirmed what I already knew, that I'd been liking what I was hearing, as I was kind of going through a lot of the presets, just kind of thumbing through with my foot, listening to the sound. I came across one and I said, man, that is my tone. That's exactly what I've been looking for. That exactly is pleasing to my ears, is what I'm used to, and I couldn't believe it. And we kind of do a country. If you're not familiar with us, check out some of our music and some of our videos, but we do kind of a country, southern rock, Christian style music, and kind of maybe right on the edge of breakup. It's kind of where my tone kind of lies, and this was fitting perfect. I said, boy, what amp is that? So I went over to the FM3 Edit. If you know a little bit about Fractals, you can kind of edit that right on the computer screen. Is one of the easiest ways. And I click on the amp to see which amp it is, and guess what? It's a Maz 38 Dr. Z. Now, if you've been following the channel for a long time, you know that was one of my main go-to amps, the Dr. Z Maz 38. Matter of fact, the Healing CD was exclusively done with the Maz 38, as well as our second CD, 19th Pew was. So those were exclusively using the Maz 38. So I was, you know, as a producer, as an engineer, people are always telling us, and as I'm trying to learn, they always say, hey, use your ears, you know, don't rely on what you're seeing. And, you know, 2 things, I say this humbly, is that, one, the sound that I really liked and I dialed in was one of the amps that was one of my favorites and that I've used for so long, and that we used exclusively to record our first 2 CDs. So my ears were hearing exactly the tone and the style that I liked. And then for Fractal, the second thing, for Fractal to have captured that and for me to hear it, I just think is it just confirms that, you know, my Dr. Z amps and my Fenders and my divided by 13 tube amps aren't going anywhere, but this definitely confirms to me that this Fractal can really get you really close to the tone that you need in the studio or in live setting. And I couldn't be more happy with that, to let my ears make that confirmation, because you're always wondering, man, am I really sounding as good with this modeler as I was with my live amps? And I think the answer is an absolutely yes. You know, another question that I get, one of my friends was asking me, hey, why did you go with the new FM3 Turbo? Why didn't you go ahead and get the FM9 Turbo? I guess it would be more of the latest and greatest. It does have a little bit more horsepower, but one of the things, like I was telling you earlier, for the type of music that I play, kind of more of a southern rock country, I pretty much have the amp, the cab, a delay, a reverb. Maybe I have 2 delays or maybe 2 drives on it. Got plenty of horsepower, plenty of memory for those, well within the parameters of what this unit can accomplish. So I didn't need the extra horsepower of the FM9. The other thing that I got really used to is having 2 separate units. I like the FM3 on my right, just to go between the presets and the scenes, and then the FC6 foot controller on my left-hand side. It's a little bit more compact for me to move my foot in a live situation. Honest and truly, I do a whole show with 6 presets. So, I mean, with one preset, 6 scenes. So if you know a little bit about the Fractal, each preset has 8 scenes. So I can usually do a show with 1 preset and 8 scenes, but typically it's usually much less than that. I have maybe 2 rhythm channels, two clean rhythm channels, and then 2 lead channels, depending on if I'm doing a single coil or a humbucker and how much sustain I want. So the FC6 foot controller, it's a little bit more compact for me to move my foot. I'm not having to swing it as far as I would with the FM9, and the way I got it set up on my mic stand is 1 on one side, 1 on the other. So that works well for me. It's a personal preference, but if some people are asking, hey, why'd you go with the FM3 turbo instead of just not going with the FM9? That's the reason why. So I hope this video has helped you if you've been on the fence about buying a Fractal amp modeler. If you're like me and your back's getting older and you're getting a little bit weary about carrying those heavy tube amps into gigs, and if you're playing on small stages and needing extra room, I think this very well may be the answer that you've been looking for. I found the amp simulations to be very, very, very good. The quality and build quality is very good. It's very durable. Hey, if you found this video useful, and I hope that you have, I hope that you'll consider subscribing, hitting that follow button. Certainly love to hear your comments if you're thinking about getting one, or if you already own one, what you think about the Fractal. Hey, we love you and God loves you. Keep looking up. We'll see you next time.